Hi guys and welcome back to some Football Manager 2018 content here on the channel. I want to talk today about an amazing season that I actually had on an offline career I've been playing through. I've got this going on as well as our AC Milan and our Rangers seasons here on the channel, so pretty busy exploring the new game now. But this is more of a review of the most amazing season I've ever had in any football management game, and it's also a little bit of a critique of Football Manager 2018, frankly, for allowing it to happen. So if we have a little look at our schedule here, we're in Season 3, so we just want to go back and have a look at Season 1. The first thing I would actually critique, the same as past Football Managers, we're battering these teams. I mean, look at that. Where are they from? They're from the Faroe Islands, okay? So Celtic would smash them in real life. I'm not arguing that. But I don't think we'd score 20 goals over the two games. I think it's far too harsh on these teams. The result against Rijeka is pretty reasonable. 3-0 at home, 3-1 away. That's reasonable enough. Then we played Bate Borisov. We won 2-1 away, which I think is a bit of a stretch, and then 5-2 at home, which is plausible, I suppose. Group stages, Spartak, we beat them. We lost 5-0 in Rome against Roma, which is reasonable enough. Lost 2-1 at home to City, 3-1 away at City, reasonable enough. Lost 3-1 in Russia against Moscow. And then we beat Roma 8-1 at home. So, yeah, I mean, if we have a look here, 2 for Patrick Roberts, 1 for McGregor, 2 for Dembele, an own goal by Skorupski, a goal for Amin Karawi, and a goal for Olivier Ntcham. So we scored 8 goals against Roma there. Unfortunately, that actually wasn't enough to put us through. We dropped down to the Europa League. We won 3-2 at home to Sporting Lisbon, and then we drew 1-1 away. So, yeah, it could happen. I don't have too many complaints about that. Then we went away to Lazio, 2-1 loss in Italy, perfectly reasonable. And then a 1-1 draw at Parkhead, which again is perfectly reasonable. So that of course puts us out. We go through the rest of the season, we win the Scottish Cup and we win the Barclays Premier League, we win the Ladbrokes Scottish Premiership. So that's a perfectly reasonable season. We got the domestic double. I believe we lost the cup. Did we lose the cup final or did we lose it? Oh no, we actually lost it really early on. We lost it in the second round, the League Cup to Partick Thistle. So we got a double there. We did okay in Europe, barring the ridiculous 8-1 victory at home to Roma. But whatever, these kind of anomalies are going to happen in video games. So we move on to Season 2, and this is where it gets a bit crazy. So against Flora, 3-0 and 4-0, yeah, it's possible. We won 6-1 at home to Astana and drew 1-1 away, perfectly reasonable. We beat Maribor 6-0 at home, which is not reasonable in the slightest. Then we go away and lose 2-1 away from them, which I suppose could happen, so nothing too much wrong with that one. Although I don't actually get why I had to play the first round qualifier. I didn't really understand that one. But then we beat Karabag 6-2 and 3-1 away. Whatever, the away result's a bit strange, but you know what, overall I suppose it could happen. Then in the group stages we have Porto down here. We beat them 4-1 at home. And you know, if Celtic got really lucky in reality, it's possible. Especially Porto went down to 10 men there. Well, so did we in fairness. But it could happen if we got really lucky, I suppose. Then, we have our next Champions League group game. 2-0 away at Bayer Leverkusen. Now, they were down to 10 men from the 12th minute. So again, if we got really lucky, it could happen, I suppose. 4-0 over Anderlecht could possibly happen. We beat them 3-0 away in real life, so possible. 2-1 away victory over Anderlecht. Again, possible. We beat them 3-0 in Belgium in reality, so possible. We go away to Porto and lose 5-2. Perfectly possible. And we win 4-1 at home to Leverkusen, which is a bit sketchy. I suppose you could say if we got really lucky again in real life, it could be possible. And I think in that game, Leverkusen really had to go for it. So could we catch them on the break or something in real life? Perfectly possible, I suppose. So that actually put us top of the group, and we went through, I think we had 15 points out of 18 there, and we went through, so that, you know, perfectly possible. So we draw, this is where it gets crazy. So we draw AC Milan, and I was thinking we could have a go at them. So we lost 2-1 over in Italy, which is perfectly reasonable, I suppose. And then we won 4-2 at Celtic Park, and that was a 94th minute goal from Scott Sinclair that actually won us that one there. It's possible. I'm going to say it's possible. AC Milan aren't the powerhouse they used to be, so it's possible. So we go through to the next round, and we draw Arsenal. Now we win 1-0 at home. On the face of it, it's not that crazy. I wouldn't fancy our chances to beat Arsenal in real life, but maybe a 1-0 we just sneak it. However, Eric Sviatchenko got sent off in the 31st minute, and we basically just held on for an hour against Arsenal. I find that a bit crazy. I was jumping for joy at the time, of course, but reviewing it on the basis of game balance and so forth, I find that to be a bit sketchy that we managed to hold out for an hour. But nonetheless, with only a 1-0 victory, we're going to go to the Emirates and get just destroyed, right? No, we win 2-0 at the Emirates. We actually go ahead inside the first minute with a corner. So I suppose you could say Arsenal then had to chase the game and we managed to hit them on the break at the 70th minute. But I just find that unbelievable. There's no way we in real life would go to Arsenal at the Emirates and beat them 2-0, put them out 3-0 overall in the Champions League tie. That's sketchy. But as I say, jumping for joy at the time. So we go through to the next round where we draw Man United in the semi-final. Now we go to Old Trafford, we just shut up shop and we get a 0-0. Very, very unlikely, but maybe possible, I suppose. Then we take them back to Parkhead and we win 3-2. So we have a little look at how it went down. James Forrest put us ahead early, and then Xherdan Shaqiri actually scored for Man United before Juan Mata put them 2-1 up before half-time. So that was us pretty much out. We needed 2 goals after that. Start of the second half, Daley Blind actually gets sent off, and then as you can see there, a Moussa Dembele double actually gives us a 3-2 win and puts us in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. But strong home form has actually seen us to this point, so when we're playing Real Madrid on neutral ground, it's going to be the end of the journey. But we did really well. My complaint is that we actually made it to the final, even if we did get beat up. But we didn't get beat. We went 1-0 up. Sorry, Real Madrid went 1-0 up through Cristiano Ronaldo after 28 minutes. Went into half-time 1-0 down, thought it was the end of the game. Callum McGregor actually in the 61st minute equalises, but Mattia De Sciglio, on loan from Juventus, coming in actually to help us with the Champions League run. Brought him in on loan in January to see if he could help us in the Champions League. Certainly did. But he gets sent off and that's it, right? That's game over. But Moussa Dembele actually, with a penalty in the 78th minute, won us the Champions League. Then that goal in and of itself wasn't too crazy. In fact, can we have a look at it here? I think we might be able to. Have a little look at Moussa Dembele's goal. If I can figure out how. What the hell? Yep, view goals. So have a little look at this one. The first 2 goals are just goals, but I want to look at Moussa Dembele's and make my case that it's actually reasonable for a Celtic team down to 10 men to score this against Real Madrid. Now that's going to be a hard sell, I suspect. I have to go back a little bit. So Benzema played it to Modric. Wendell picked it up here for them. He was coming forward. He played it into Isco. Back to Modric. They're really probing about the edge of our box. Wendell played it into Isco again. He found Benzema. We nicked it and Tierney lumps it up to Dembele, but it does get cleared. So you can see the kind of strategy that we're after here. We are after the ball, just getting pinched. We're basically camping and looking to launch it. So Gamboa launches it to Dembele, who takes a touch. Now he's off and running. Right, he's completely surrounded here, however, so he goes back to James Forrest, keeps running. James Forrest now lobs it in behind. Moussa Dembele's running onto it, tussling with the defender. Down he goes, or he gets pulled back or whatever, and we get a penalty. So that's how it happened. That's how we actually got that goal. So I think that's pretty reasonable, how sort of the way that it happened for 10 men to score that against 11, but obviously against Real Madrid we should not have been able to beat them. We did beat them and we won the Champions League. But what's even crazier, that goal from Moussa Dembele was his last goal of the season there to win the Champions League. Now we actually look at the history. Now he's valued at 22 million at this point and he's wanted by AS Monaco. But if we look at his history here for season 1, he scored 58 goals in 49 games, which is absolutely ludicrous. And I think you can imagine season 2, where we won the Champions League, is actually going to be crazier. If you look at that, that penalty to win us the Champions League was Moussa Dembele's 70th goal of the season. And I mean, he's a good player, but that is just ludicrous. That to me is a balancing issue with the game. That's not, that's not a feature. That's a bug. I mean, there's no way a player should be scoring 70 goals. Ronaldo and Messi don't even hit 70 goals. I mean, that's absolutely ludicrous. And he scored tons of them in the Champions League as well. It's absolutely crazy the amount of goals he scored, and a lot of that's inflated by those early qualifiers where we can just destroy teams like 11 or 12-0, which again is ludicrous. We would not be scoring that many goals in real life. So basically, I just wanted to mainly give this as a critique, actually, of a season where I really felt a good sense of achievement. I basically doing bloody laps of the garden when we actually when we actually lifted the trophy against Real Madrid. I've never done that before as Celtic. I've been playing since about Champman 0102, and I've never managed to win the Champions League with Celtic. FM17 was the closest I got until this. I got to 2 successive finals and lost them both to Man United. So it's a hell of a stretch to try and win the Champions League with Celtic. But I actually felt, now having, it's about, what, 15, 16 years or something I've been trying to do this with Celtic on each successive edition of management games, and I've never managed to do it. Now that I've done it, I kind of feel like my achievements cheapened a little. 70 goals for Moussa Dembele is just bloody ludicrous, but the main issue actually I have is if you look at the squad, I have, let's clear the squad here. In terms of new players, okay, Adam Federici is just a bench goalkeeper. Joe Hart is basically my main addition. If you look down, everybody else, more or less, is a Celtic player. David Calabria has been signed since we won the Champions League. Calvin Miller, Kieran Tierney, Hayes, Brown, Rogic, Armstrong, Baronas as well, the young Rangers player, didn't play a part in the Champions League. James Rose, Callum McGregor, Ryan Christie, Jokic, Amin Kara, Anthony Martial has been signed since we won the Champions League. And Scott Bates is a regen youth player. Amin Karawi is another one that I've actually signed. He was a hell of a signing. He's a bargain to pick up for 1.8 million in season 1, by the way. So yeah, getting to the Champions League final against Man United on FM17, it was years into the future, 15 years or something into the future. My side was mainly made up of Argentine regens, and we were like the second or third most reputable club in the world. This game, I won the Champions League in season 2, mostly with current Celtic players, adding in Karawi, Joe Hart and De Chilio, who was on loan. I find that to be unrealistic, unreasonable, whatever you want to call it. So I just felt, given how well this season went, I felt it was worthy of an upload for a little bit of a discussion. Perhaps some of you guys have had some ridiculous seasons early on here on FM18. What I don't really want to hear is that it's a beta. I know, well, things like this are going to happen on the beta version. If you've played previous beta versions, FM 17, 16 and so forth, the beta is almost identical to how the full game ends up coming out. There's a few graphical glitches and stuff that will be corrected, but mainly the base game, the mechanics of the game engine, that's not going to change. So the game engine that allowed Moussa Dembele there to score 70 goals in a season is still going to pretty much be the same when the game comes out. So, as I say, perhaps some of you guys maybe have seen some ridiculous stuff so far this year on FM18. I wanted to share this a little bit just to say, hey, look at me, I won the Champions League as Celtic, but mainly to critique and to say, something like that frankly just shouldn't be able to happen, and I feel a little bit like it's cheapened an achievement that I've been going for about 15 years plus now. So I just wanted to say that. As I say, if you guys have experienced anything like that, then if you want to drop a comment down below, that'd be great. We can get a discussion going on what we think about FM18 so far. But I just wanted to drop a video to review this amazing achievement that I kind of feel like's been handed out to me, to be frank, on this year's edition of the game. But that's going to be it. I'm not going to ramble on too much longer. If you guys incidentally want to follow the AC Milan and the Rangers series we have going on the channel just now for Football Manager, you can always subscribe to the channel, for which I would be eternally grateful. But mainly I just want to thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked the video, drop a wee like, and I will see you next time for another Football Manager video.